We just wanted to say, we really appreciate the time and everything that the city gave to us and our council members that were present for all of our meetings. We had more than we had planned, but I think we came to a good negotiation at the end. It was a 1-year deal. And we plan on getting back to the room after a short break, but getting back to work as soon as we can so that we get it knocked out pretty early next year. But we understand that, a 10% increase is a pretty sizable increase, especially, with times the way they are. So we really appreciate everything that we got and looking forward to another favorable contract next year.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your comments. So I'm going to bring it back to the committee. Is there any questions from the committee members for either Mr. Willis or Mr. Griffin? Councilmember Tomas Morgan? Oh, Kenneth?
No, I was there, so I don't have many questions, but I'll make statements at the end.
Okay.
I just had a quick question. Could you just explain to me longevity pay for those with 25 years and over? Are they awarded that on their 25th year, or do they have to wait until they retire to receive that $10,000 longevity pay?
Yeah, I think we might have had this pop up earlier, but I couldn't remember if it's at the beginning or yeah, I'll let Eric speak to that. Sorry.
And if you could just state your name and address for the record, sorry.
Eric Griffin, President Local 362, 4025 Lincoln Way West. The way the longevity pay works, it's after the completion of those years of service, and that's an annual stipend. So they would get that after the completion of their 25th year through, whatever year they decide, how long they decide to stay. And that the 25-year is indicative of our pension base as well.
And then that would be for 25 years and over, but for longevity pay for the others, is it annual also, or is it
Yeah.
just is that anniversary year?
No, it is annual. There's different tiers for the different years of
Mhm.
service, but the 25 plus is the only one that got an increase this negotiation.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there any other questions from council members? Okay, I'm going to open it up for the public hearing portion. Thank you so much, Kyle. I guess we don't have any questions for you. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor of substitute bill 6124?
I do not see anyone from the public or online wishing to speak in favor.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anyone that would like to speak against?
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Okay, and I see no one in the chamber as well. So I'm going to, seeing no one for or against, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing portion for substitute bill 6124 and bring it back for any comments. Councilmember Lee, you would like to make a comment?
Yes, Vice President and Chair. I just want to say that this was a very eye-opening experience for us. We know that South Bend has one of the best fire departments, and people come to our area for training. With this salary increase, we currently are ranked at 42. This will take us up to the rank of 16. And so we're very excited about that. And as we continue to go forward, time and a half has now been changed to double time, and even as the new recruits are coming in, it's going to be a significant amount, going from 48,000 to 56,000. And so I can say that we sat at the table, we talked and went back and forth, and this collective bargain agreement was administered in a fair, partial way, and we're very, very excited and very thankful, and look forward to wrapping up next year and having a longer term contract. So,
Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else? Any other comments? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion regarding the bill. What's the pleasure of the committee?
I move that substitute bill 6124 be sent to the committee of whole with a favorable recommendation.
Second. Okay, there has been a motion to send substitute bill 6124 with a favorable recommendation, and it's been duly seconded. Do we need to take a roll call
Yes.
vote, correct?
Committee Chair Nisgowsky.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Aye. Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair Warner. Citizen Member Angela Smith. Citizen Member Ross Dio. 6 ayes.
Thank you. Substitute Bill 6124 will be sent to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation. I'd like to thank our citizen member for participating in today's, and I'm sorry that we couldn't get Ross Deal in, but he was making an attempt to do so. So thank you, and we'll be hearing this bill again at the 7 o'clock meeting. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the Personal and Finance Committee. The next meeting is Public Works and Property Vacation, and that begins at 4:15. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It is now 4:16 PM, and I would like to call to order the Public Works and Property Vacation Committee. Clerk Toronto, do you want to take the roll for us?
Committee Chair Niskoski,
Present?
Councilmember Vice Chair White,
Present.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Present.
Councilmember Davis, Citizen Member Carl Latrell,
Present.
Citizen Member Jason Piontek.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you so much. Today we have before us Bill 6224. It's an alley vacation. And do we have the petitioner here or someone is?
Me, present, Ariel Geary.
Okay. Well, we are here to hear Bill 6224. So would you like to
Yeah,
state your
I-
name and address for the record? And
Yes, my name is Ariel Geary. My address is 705 North Lafayette Avenue, or Lafayette Avenue Northeast in Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49503.
okay, and you are representing the petitioner?
Yes, yes,
Okay, then you want to tell us a little bit about the alley vacation?
yes. Let me share my screen with you guys. Can everyone see that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we're petitioning to vacate the highlighted red alley. There is a machining shop, South Bend Metal Products, which is located here at 325 South Walnut Street. And we would like to vacate the alley so that we can fence in the property. We need to replace, there is fencing that is up right now, but we cannot do anything with it until we have the highlighted alley vacated. So we would like to vacate the alley and then fence the property in. And yeah, right now, all of the highlighted in yellow property is owned by the same person. And so we're just trying to vacate the alley to fence in the property for the shop and the employees that work there.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much. And I believe there's going to be a turnaround point.
Yes,
On here
yeah,
too?
yes, I apologize. We will vacate the alley and then where it indents, where the yellow indents, we would create a turnaround point. So you could still be able to go down the alley and make a full turnaround. Yeah, thank you. I apologize.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And is there anyone from the administration that wants to, I know this was favorable from the Board of Public Works that was contained in our packet here. So thank you so much for the presentation. Committee members, do you have any questions regarding the bill? Mr. Luttrell?
I'd like to know if dedication of that turnaround is going to be done.
Pardon?
Could you restate your question?
Will the turnaround, will the land for that turnaround be dedicated to the public? In other words, I'm envisioning a hammerhead turnaround. And,
Yes, I would believe so, that it would be turnaround use for the public.
So that isn't shown on the map, but you are not vacating what is now public of it. You just need to make some more.
Correct. I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
But to create the turnaround, you need more land than is available within the current confines of the existing alley. So on the north end, where you have the indentation, looks like about 10 feet by 20 feet, that would become dedicated public to create more pavement or improvement for a turnaround. Is that correct?
Yes.
I can speak to that a little bit.
Oh,
Gemma
thank you.
Stan, project engineer in Division of Engineering on 13th floor of this building. The bill before you should have a section 4 that states the vacation itself is subject to the elimination of the alley approach. Sorry, there might be a typo, but one of the section 4s. It should say the vacation is subject to the dedication of right of way to provide a turnaround space. And as an addendum or an attachment to the bill that you have before you, there should also be a picture showing the size of the turnaround that's required.
Yes.
Is
Thank
that
you,
Ms.
Gemma.
Yes, that should be it.
So in your packet, and thank you, Gemma, I appreciate that. It's the packet, it has the 2 red dots at the top of the alleyway. That I believe was yeah, this presentation does not have it. It's kind of backwards to what our packet. Did you get that, girl?
I didn't see that in what was available for me to download. I see the red area marked out to be dedicated, so it looks like the right thing to do.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification too. Is there any other questions? Councilmember White?
Yes, I just have one. How many employees are we looking at? And I did ride through this area and talk to a couple of the people so that they are aware, and those that I have spoken with, they have no concerns about this happening.
There are currently 3 employees.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions in the committee? Then I'm going to go ahead and open it up for the public hearing portion. Is there anyone from the public here wishing to speak in favor of Bill 6224?
I do not see anyone from the public or online wishing to speak in favor of the bill.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak against?
I do not see anyone from the public or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Okay, thank you so much. And I see no one here in the chamber, so I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing on Bill 6224. I will bring it back to the committee. Any other statements, or what is the pleasure of the committee regarding the bill? I'll entertain a motion to send Bill 6224 to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation.
So move. Second.
Okay, there's been a motion made and it has been duly seconded. Clerk Toronto, could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Dr. Davis. Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair White.
Aye.
Committee Chair Niskoski.
Aye.
Citizen Member Carl Luttrell.
Aye.
Citizen Member Jason Piontek.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 6224 will be sent to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation. It is now 4:25 and I'm going to adjourn the Public Works and Property Vacation meeting. The Community Investment meeting starts at 4:30. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will take roll call. Councilmember Thomas Morgan, Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Present.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Present.
Councilmember Warner's here, Mr. Gripe
Here.
is online, and Mr. Kanajeski, who is going to be absent. So we have a quorum, so we'll start with first bill, 2330 or 2435. Confirming resolution. So as I say at every meeting, every tax abatement comes with two resolutions. One is a designating resolution, and then the second meeting, 2 weeks later, we hear the confirming resolution. So I believe all three of these tax abatements, we've heard it twice 2 weeks ago, and now hear the confirming resolutions this week. Mr. Bemdorfer, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Mark Beamendorfer, Manager of Business Development with offices on the 14th floor of this building. For consideration today is Bill 2435, which is a confirming resolution for a 10-year abatement for Historic Hearthstone LLC. The declaratory resolution was just adopted in the last meeting of the Common Council, so I'll just provide a high-level summary today. The petitioner is Historic Hearthstone LLC, and the site to receive the tax benefit of the mixed-use real property tax abatement is located at 321 Wayne Street, otherwise known as the Spencer Garage. This slide shows the exterior and overhead views of the property, and this shows the interior to be kind of the focus for the investment. So the building itself is 17,000 square feet and was formerly a Ford dealership and service center. The intent is to redevelop it into a mixed-use space with a family-oriented restaurant as the anchor tenant, And there will be offices and workspace for Indiana Landmarks and South Bend Trade Works. Total corresponding investment is expected to be $2.5 million. Regarding the tax impact, current annual taxes are around $4,600. Taxes are projected to reach $55,000 with the value of the planned investments. During the 10-year abatement period, roughly $553,000 in estimated taxes are expected to be generated. Of this, $471,000 will be abated with $82,000 paid. After the abatement period ends and at the 20-year point, it is projected that the city will receive $636,000 compared to $92,000 if the project did not occur. And that's in new assessed taxes. Now, this slide provides a more detailed breakdown of the annual impact during the 10-year period. This concludes the high-level summary, and Regina Emberton was going to try to join us via Teams today. She hasn't. Oh, hello there. Oh, there you go. She is here to answer any questions regarding the project. Thank you.
Anything to add, Ms. Pemberton? Since you made it here.
Thank you.
We'll give
I'm
you,
out of breath, but
you can take a pause
yeah.
and since you made it here, we'll give you a couple minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, Regina Emberton, address is 615 West Colfax Avenue in South Bend. And I think you're familiar with the project from the report that we gave at the last meeting, but just want to thank you for your consideration. This is a really challenging project to put together. And without the city's support and involvement, along with many others, it wouldn't be possible. But we're excited about the jobs that it will bring to the community and the restoration of a decade-old or a 100-year-old building in the area that's growing in vibrancy in downtown South Bend. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, any questions? Council members, any questions? Mr. Gripe, any questions?
No questions.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll open it up to members of the public. Any members of the public wishing to speak on Bill 2435, either in person or online, may do so at this time.
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in favor.
Okay, with that, I'll bring it back. I want to thank you for your commitment to the city and your investment in the city. And I know not only on this project, but other projects you're involved in. And I will make a motion to send Bill 2435 forward with a favorable recommendation.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second, clerk.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Committee Chair Warner,
Aye.
Citizen Member Thomas Grape,
Abstain.
Citizen Member Kane Konchesky. 4 ayes.
Thank you. The bill will go forward to 7 o'clock with a favorable recommendation. And we'll move on to Bill 2436.
So again, my name is Mark Beamendorfer, Manager of Business Development with offices on the 14th floor of this building. Bill 2436 is a fairly straightforward resolution which corrects a scrivener's error from declaring resolution number 5096-24, which was adopted in the October 14th session. So I'm sure that most present are aware, but as a quick reminder, the declaratory resolution designates parcels as an economic revitalization area for the purposes of the tax abatement and also establishes the length of this designation. So improvements which occurred during the designation period are then eligible to receive the benefits of the respective abatement. So with that said, while the length of the abatement may vary, the designation period is just for 3 years. So to I'll pivot back to the bill 24-36. It corrects the original error, which listed the termination of the designation in 2033. Under this new bill, it correctly sets the end date to 2027. So in short, the bill corrects an earlier oversight, and city staff wanted to address it prior to the confirming resolution to be addressed following this one, which this concludes my summary. Were there questions on the correcting resolution?
Thank you. Committee members, any questions? Council members, any questions? Seeing none, we'll open up the public hearing. Any members of the public wishing in line, online or in person wishing to speak on resolution 2436?
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in favor or in opposition.
Okay, I'll bring it back to the committee members.
And
Bill 2436 go to the council with full recommendation.
second,
Motion for favorable and a second. Clerk, please.
Committee Chair Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair Thomas Morgan,
aye.
Citizen Member Thomas Gripe.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. 2436 will go forward with a favorable recommendation. And we'll just note you were a little quiet. So for the record, the motion was made by Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
What's that song?
It's when you're watching video trying to do that stuff. I know it's hard. I had to do it for a lot of them.
Okay.
All right, and we'll move on to Bill 2437.
So I'll also be presenting Bill 24-37. Again, Mark Beamendorfer, Manager of Business Development with offices on the 14th floor of this building. Bill 24-37 is a confirming resolution for a hotel real property tax abatement and its respective declaring resolution, which was just passed in the prior meeting by this body. Since this is the confirming resolution, covers materials that we presented recently, I'll provide a summary as a refresher. The petitioner, AFP 111 Corporation, is planning to invest roughly $9.2 million into the development of 123 North Dr. Martin Luther King Drive Boulevard, which is commonly known as the DoubleTree Hotel. So this investment of $9.2 million represents another phase of an ongoing project to renovate and improve the hotel. To date, the petitioner has invested $4.4 million into the project and has, through the project, retained 110 full-time employees and anticipates hiring an additional 5 employees with an annual payroll of $166,000. So this slide depicts the tax impact of the abatement. Currently, property taxes are around $313,000 and are projected to increase to $448,000 as a result of this project. So during the 9-year abatement, roughly $4 million in new tax dollars are expected to be assessed. Of that $4 million, $122,000 will be abated under this resolution and $3.9 will be assessed. After the abatement designation ends and at the end of the 20-year mark, property taxes of $8.8 million are projected to be assessed during the life of the hotel. So this slide provides a more precise breakdown of the estimated annual impact of the tax abatement over the next 10 years. As you can see from the chart, the tax abatement ends on the 9th year and the full tax amount will be assessed in year 10. This brings me to the end of my presentation, and I should mention that Michael Hinks, the Senior Vice President of Hotel Operations, is here today to answer any project-related questions. Now, I should also mention that there are additional slides which show pictures and renderings of the hotel, but since they were just covered in the last meeting, I'll just show them if you would like to see them, but I'll end here.
Anything to add? Thank you. Council members, any questions? Councilmember Lee?
How soon, once this is confirmed, how soon will they begin?
All right, thank you. With that, we'll open it up to the public. Any members of the public wishing to speak in person or online regarding Bill 2437?
I do not see anyone in person or online that would like to speak in favor or in opposition.
Bring it back to the committee.
Move to send Bill 2437 to the whole council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
A motion and a second. Clerk Toronto.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Committee Chair Warner,
Aye.
Citizen Member Thomas Gray,
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. And with that, the bill will go forward to 7 PM with a favorable recommendation. And with that, the Community Investment Committee is adjourned.
And I'd like to call the zoning and annexation committee to order after a great conversation in between. God Clerk, can you give us our roll call, please?
Committee Chair, Dr. Davis.
I'm present.
Councilmember Vice Chair Gooden Rogers. Councilmember White.
Present.
Councilmember Nisgowsky.
Present.
Citizen Member Jordan Geiger. Citizen Member Stacy Odom.
Present.
5 present.
All righty. We'll now be ready to read bill number 22, that's 4524. And our presenter, go ahead.
Skip Morrell, Principal Development Planner with offices on the 14th floor of this building. This first bill is located at 829 South 27th Street. Owner is Two Brothers Real Estate Investments LP. And the requested action is a rezoning from what's currently U1 Urban Neighborhood 1 to U2 Urban Neighborhood 2, essentially to a rezoning to legalize what's been converted from a single family house to a triplex. You might recognize this one. This one actually came through previously. So just for a brief recap, the house was originally constructed in 1922. The Sanborn maps show that the house was a single family dwelling at least through 1960, and it's not clear when it was converted to a triplex. However, the upzoning does make sense in this context. It's just a block north of the Mishawaka Avenue corridor, that mixed-use corridor there. And an upzoning is consistent with the South Bend Comprehensive Plan objective of ensuring that an adequate supply of housing is available to meet the needs, preferences, and financial capabilities of households now and in the future. This came to you from the Plan Commission with a favorable recommendation. And as you remember, there was some discussion about essentially when a property is upzoned, the idea is that it has to meet all the zoning standards for that district. In this case, it was U2. Additionally, when we are approving these more dense houses within a more predominantly single unit kind of neighborhood, we're looking to ensure that those houses kind of match the character of the surrounding area. We were able to have a discussion with the property owner and talk through a possibility to, as the written commitment stated, to open up the front porch in a way that would kind of make it match the surrounding area. There were some constraints with the interior layout of the house. Ultimately, this was the proposal by the petitioner, and kind of to see it in 3D more, it was opening up, there was kind of a portion of the house that wasn't able to be opened up. So this is kind of a way of opening the front, allowing there to be a front porch that accessed the street in a way that we felt was consistent with the intent of the ordinance, while still understanding that there were constraints with the existing house. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Mr. Skidmore at this time. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
So did you reach an agreement with the property owner that they will open up the front porch? Because
Yeah.
that was the big,
Yes, yes, this is the agreement that we reached for opening the front porch.
and so he has agreed to that.
Yes, he has.
So if we pass this zoning, this will happen.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
And what's the timeline that they would have to complete that renovation?
Yeah, for written commitments, we give 6 months to a year. They requested a year just to have enough time for, they're not going to be building or opening up the front of the house in the spring. So we'll be giving them a year to meet this commitment.
Thank you.
And the written commitments stay with the property, correct?
Sorry, I'm misspeaking. It's a written condition. A written commitment would, that would be like, say you couldn't build more than 3 stories. This is just a condition. So they would have to meet this. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Got you. Any others? Right, is our petitioner here? Online? Hello, petitioner? Were you aware that the petitioner may or may not be here, or?
We reached out to him at the end of the last week to let him know that the meeting would be at 5:15. I can reach out again and make sure that he'll be in attendance for the 7 o'clock.
Okay. My counsel, what is your recommendation? Since the petitioner is not here?
My recommendation is to send it on to the committee of the whole with no recommendation.
Okay. You've heard from our legal counsel regarding our petitioner. Do we have a motion in that regard?
Do we have a public
Unless there are any other questions. Pardon me?
Did you have the public hearing?
That is correct. Let's have a public hearing first, and then we can do that. All those who would like to speak in favor of this, please share your thoughts, whether you're online or whether you are in present with us.
I do not see anyone wishing to speak. I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in favor.
Okay. Anybody online or who's in the chambers who has any opposition to this, please share your thoughts, please.
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Okay, thank you. We have had our public hearing in our committee. Now we have heard from our council, legal counsel's thoughts. So what's your thoughts?
I'll make a motion to send Bill 4224 to the Committee of the Whole with no recommendation. That
Okay.
would be pending the petitioner to be present at the 7 o'clock meeting.
I understand. We have a second on that. We'd like for our clerk to please take the roll.
Councilmember Vice Chair Gooden Rogers. Councilmember Nisgowsky.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Committee Chair Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Citizen Member Stacy Odom.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Now, we would like for you to, we'll move forward to bill number 4424.
Sure.
And Mr. Morrell, you're going to do that one also. Thank you.
Skip Morrell, Principal Development Planner with offices on the 14th floor. And also, I will note that oftentimes the committee will combine this bill with the next bill. This is kind of a two-part thing where the first part is the bill that will be annexing and rezoning this property. The second item, or the third item, I guess, on the agenda is a resolution for the fiscal plan, basically saying that if we do annex this area, we'll be able to provide it with services like water, police, fire. So oftentimes we'll combine this. I'm not repeating the same thing twice.
Okay,
Sure.
I understand. Do we have a motion to hear both of these bills at the same time?
So move.
Second.
We'd like for our clerk to take the roll, please.
Committee Chair Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair Gooden Rogers. Citizen Member Stacy Odom.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay, so we will hear both of these bills at the same time.
Great.
And go ahead with your presentation, Mr. Morrow.
Sure. So we're looking at properties 25491, 25471, and 25481 Cleveland Road. The requested action is first in looking at Bill 4424, an annexation and rezoning. This property is currently zoned R Single Family District in St. Joseph County. They're looking to bring it into the city as I Industrial. So for some context, on the site, it currently holds a house, a garage, a barn, and a large vacant farm fields. You can see those are kind of in the bottom left corner there. It's bordered by vegetation to the east and the west. To the north is a warehouse in the city of South Bend, zoned industrial. To the east, there's a strip of trees, and then east of that is industrial in the county. And then to the south and west are residential in the county. The surrounding area was largely farmland until the late 1900s, when a subdivision to the west of the site began to develop. Between 2000 and 2010, several new industrial buildings were constructed to the north and east of the site. Just off the map, you can see the one to the north and then a little further to the east. And then more recently, a final industrial site was constructed to the east between 2016 and 2017. The proposed development would consist of a 8,000 square foot office space on the western portion of the lot, a 15,000 square foot warehouse slash shop, and outdoor storage of large equipment on the eastern portion of the lot, as well as the preservation of the barn on the south end of the parcel. Broadly speaking, this petition is consistent with the city plan objective of retaining existing businesses and recruiting new ones to the city. This would be a construction business that would be located in this area. Further, the petition is consistent with South Bend's annexation policy plan, that the extension of city services and utilities beyond the city limits should not occur unless it furthers the annexation policies of the city. And the annexation rezoning comes to you from the Plan Commission with a favorable recommendation. And then I'll just speak briefly on the fiscal plan, which is looking at sort of services, utilities. This is an annexation of, pull it back, 4 properties. There are roughly 22 acres. There are no capital plans improved or planned by the city as part of this annexation. Water and sewer are both available from Cleveland Road, which runs along the south there. And a portion of Cleveland Road, about 700 feet of right-of-way, would be added to the city. The Cleveland Poppy annexation area would be added to Common Council's 1st district. It'd be served by Police Beat 22, Fire Station 11, and Emergency Medic Station 11, both of those located on Cleveland and Bendix. And it would be under Neighborhood and Services Enforcement Area 5. And we look for a favorable recommendation on both the rezoning annexation as well as the fiscal plan. Happy to answer any questions on all that information.
Any questions for Mr. Morrow? Seeing none this time, I see the petitioner here, represented by Ms. Angela Smith, who used to work for us, now works on a different place, but glad to have you.
Good afternoon, Angela Smith with Dan Charner Associates, offices located at 1643 Commerce Drive. I have with me today Matt Kane from HRP Construction. We're excited to be in front of you this afternoon to talk about the annexation and rezoning of this property. I'll let Matt share a little bit more about the company as a whole, but in terms of I'm going to pull up another screen now that stopped sharing his. The rezoning and annexation here is consistent with the surrounding area. There's industrial to the north and essentially to the east, and then the Lippert development, which happened in the county, is also kind of southeast of here. The site's a unique site for this area, and that it's a very large piece of property in this development area. Again, Skip's kind of shown you the aerial. This widens out a little bit so you can see general stamping there to the east. The site's still kind of under design to try to figure out how everything's going to lay out. As you, I'm sure, can be aware, once you get out on a piece of property, it changes quite a bit. But one of the things that HRP is looking forward to doing is kind of cleaning up the property in general. It's become very overgrown. And what I liked about Matt's story when he started talking to us about the big South Bend water tower there in the background, as it relates to the fact that they are a construction company for wastewater and water extensions in most municipalities. Here's a couple other views of the property. You can see it's pretty wooded, and then you have this large open area. Again, you see the water tower in the background. This is when we look to the west, and then there to the east. So there's a lot of room for them to develop the property here. I'm going to let Matt share a little bit about the company, and then if you have any questions for me, I can answer those as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. My name is Matt Kane. I'm the president of HRP Construction. I've worked there since 1996 when I joined as a young employee fresh out of college. The office that I joined was at 5777 Cleveland Road. It was about 2 years old at that time. And the company had been there since about 1993. Company has always been a resident of City of South Bend. It's founded in 1980 and was on West Washington Street, just here west of downtown. 3 gentlemen, Harold, Robert, and Paul, HRP stands for. Harold and Robert founded it. Paul ran it for them until they outgrew that location. That land was repurposed, and we built at our present location, the northwest part of town on Cleveland Road. Again, I believe 1993. The office at that time was kind of big for us, and it's become pretty small for us over the years. We, as Angela alluded to, we're a water and wastewater contractor. We're based in South Bend. We primarily serve municipalities. City of South Bend is one of our bigger customers. We've built a lot of projects for City of South Bend, road work, sewer work, water work, that sort of thing. Worked for Mishawaka, Elkhart, NDOT, but any municipality that you can think of around We probably work with them. But this is the center of our work area. Presently, we're about 60 employees. Depending on the season, 15 to 20 work in our office and our shop. And the remainder are working on project sites, which stretch generally less than 60 miles from South Bend, primarily in Indiana, but in any direction, east, west, and south, and not so much north. We've already outgrown our location. Presently, we also rent a 15-acre parcel within the city of Mishawaka that we use for a construction yard. We store some of our equipment there. We've looked at that location as a site for a new home. Our roots are here. We want to stay here. We want to stay within the city of South Bend if at all possible. We also rent a warehouse in the vicinity of the airport where we store some materials and minor equipment indoors, but we need a new home. And this property presented itself, and the cherry on top is that we're a water contractor, and this gorgeous water tower that says City of South Bend stands proudly over the property, and we think this would be a great home for us.
I'll also share that we had two public meetings with the neighbors. So we had one at the current HRP offices where we invited the neighbors to come and join us. We had a few neighbors come and they were all very excited, both about the company and the work they do, and how this could be a good transition from the neighborhood to the more intense industrial area. We had one resident at the Plan Commission meeting that we met with afterward. I had a great discussion with them, and I think we've kind of bridged the gap with them and kind of helped with that. One of the things that all the neighbors were excited about is that at any point they'll be able to pick up a phone and actually reach an individual that's here in South Bend and not some major corporation that's housed elsewhere. We followed up with a virtual meeting that we offered to all the residents, but no one attended. It was just a great conversation between Matt and I. So we did have those two opportunities though, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
First of all, I'm glad that you met with the person that came to the meeting. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm glad that you said that you had the virtual meeting. So I appreciate you doing that because that really helped out. And I do like cherries. And so therefore it is to have the cherries on top. It's cool. We have any questions for our petitioners? May give you some cherries if you ask some questions. No.
I have a chair.
Go for it.
I just wanted to make sure I heard that. You said you were going to be saving the barn. Is that like a structure or did I hear that incorrectly? Because that looks like, is that a barn right there, like an existing?
I think the hope is to try to save the barn.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things. It's when you look at the site from afar, it looks great and everything. They are currently doing a structural assessment to see how they could incorporate it if it's gonna stay standing. Ideally, I think that's part of the character that drew you to the site. But as many of you guys can appreciate, sometimes when you get in there, they look shiny from the outside and may not be so structurally sound from the inside, but that full assessment has not been completed as of yet. But if at all possible, yes, we will try.
Thank you.
Councilman Lee.
Yes. I'm not on the committee, but I'm certainly the district representative, and we're grateful that you guys decided to stay in South Bend. My question is, because you guys do wastewater management, will you be doing a lot of your own, the work that's going to happen in order to connect it to the city resources?
That's a great question. Ironically, under a contract for the city of South Bend, we installed those utilities on Old Cleveland Road as well. But yes, so again, as a contractor for the city, we installed the sewer and water some years ago. A number of years ago, we installed the sewer. And I believe the water main, perhaps that serves that water tower, but the sewer that serves Tire and those developments in that area. And we do also perform site work. So yes, we would self-perform, well, very little of our work actually ever, paperwork, of course, right? But physical construction work, very little occurs ever on our site. But we would perform our own earthwork and utilities for this site. We also did that for the general sheet metal site, just 2 doors over. And we do perform that type of work. So yes. Yeah, to answer your question, we will not do the building construction. So we would use a building contractor to do building construction and we would perform the civil construction.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? At this time, I thank you all. And we open it up for public discussion. Those who'd like to speak in favor online or in person, please share your thoughts.
I do not see anyone online or in person wishing to speak in favor.
And for those online but to speak in opposition.
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Okay. Given that, we will now vote on each one separately. And pardon me? Yeah, we did a joint.
Okay.
Yeah, we did all that joint, but when it comes down to the vote, we would do that one separately, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Thank you. Perfect.
no problem. I'm at peace. We will now have a vote on Bill 4424.
I'd like to make a motion to send Bill 4424 to, is that the committee of the whole, the full council?
That is the committee of the whole.
To the
because-
committee of the whole with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
We have a second. So our clerk, would you please take the roll?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Committee Chair Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky.
Aye.
Citizen Member Stacy Odom.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay. Thank you. That will be sent favorably. And then we have a vote on bill number, that's 34. Go for it. Do we have a recommendation on that?
I'll make a motion to send Bill 2434 to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a favorable and a second. So we move to our clerk.
Councilmember Nisgowsky.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Chair Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Committee Chair Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Citizen Member Stacy Odom.
Aye.
5 ayes.
5 ayes. Well, we thank you all and we'll see you all tonight at 7:00. And our meeting is adjourned. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh.